Welcome to the Killshot Tournament Season 1, and I am your host, Longshot.
And I am Kaleido.
And we're going to be casting this Game 2 between JohnnyReb spawning as Zerg, and his opponent is going to be ksTussin as Terran. So these two players have been matched up again for Game 2, ksTussin taking it away earlier on in Game 1.
Absolutely. So this is Shattered Temple. They're spawning close air positions. So Banshees at this point is a really good idea. We're gonna have to see if Tussin thinks so also. But this is definitely advantageous if he goes Banshees.
I completely agree with you. I mean, you know, to put the nail in the coffin, man, it would definitely be Banshees in this particular matchup because, you know, it seems that Zerg has problems with early air, but if they do have enough queens to hold it off, then normally it's not that much of a problem. But if they do get that evolutionary chamber and get the spore crawlers up in time, it's not a problem.
Absolutely. It's pretty important to do that. I think like getting some form of detection, whether it's a somewhat quick lair or a couple spore crawlers in the mineral line, just maybe one or two, you know, one at each base, is definitely advantageous because you don't want to get caught with your pants down when Banshees with Cloak show up.
I don't think you ever want to get your pants down, like, caught with your pants down ever. Like, honestly, you know, I think that expression is hilarious because, honestly, if you really, like, think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, you just got your pants caught down. Like, it's just like, yeah, oh my gosh.
It's the most awkward thing that could happen.
I know, honestly.
In the room, your pants are down, you're like, I was just, there's no way to get out of that. Like,
I mean, yeah.
No friendly way to get out of that one.
Honestly, I mean, I've never had, hey, I'll be honest with you, I've never had that dream where, you know, like you're in your classroom and then you get up from your seat and then you got no pants on. Like, that's just scary. Like, you know, I mean, like, you've been studying real hard or whatever, and all of a sudden, dude, your pants are gone. Like, what? Like, was there some sort of troll underneath my desk that took my pants? Like, what the hell? But no, we have JohnnyReb going to be throwing down his expansion.
Yeah, this is actually even more of a refined build, it looks like, for JohnnyReb this time around. He's going to get the expansion on time. He's going to get his pool first this time instead of gas first, which is... It's okay. Like, he definitely is going to be focusing more on droning up, which is absolutely... I couldn't agree with that more. You know, that's so important in the early game. All Zerg should be doing, unless they're getting attacked, is droning up, so...
Yeah, definitely. And the amount of drones that they should have always should be at least, you know, way ahead of their opponent, as well as bases, because, you know, once again, I will say it again, is that Zerg is, you know, divide, conquer, and mass and overrun their forces, but ksTussin is going to be throwing down his bunker right at the front of his natural, and JohnnyReb is going to be taking 2 drones off, going to be trying to whittle down this, oh my gosh, is he going to get it? Oh, he gets it! Oh, man. Rough day at the office, and ksTussin does take out that bunker.
Absolutely, that was a nice move by him. You know, you don't have to pull all the drones. You just have to pull 3 or 4 to kill the SCV that's building it. And then once you do that, you're actually pretty safe because they have to either pull 2 more SCVs and bring them with the Marines, or just cancel and walk away, which is optimal for Zerg. Again, like, he only built a couple Zerglings here. He didn't overreact to this at all, so I really like this play by JohnnyReb right now.
Yeah, JohnnyReb is going to be leaving the Zergling at his natural to find out the timing of the expansion, but I think ksTussin knows that there was more than one, and yep, he's going to find it and take that one out. Boom, it goes down, barely doing any type of damage to the Marines. But, you know...
We do see Tussin here getting his starport, and he has all his tech up, but he hasn't built any attachments on any of these buildings, which I think is kind of a mistake, because he definitely wants to be swapping this starport for a tech lab. No, it looks like he's going to go medevac first, so
but he's
no Banshees
blocked
at all, but he is supply blocked.
Yeah.
Oh, and we see the drop supply go down on the front here.
You know, in the previous game, man, he was doing drops like crazy, but now he's got a drop supply.
I know, it seems like Tussin somehow got a little shaken up. Maybe he's kind of sitting on his laurels here. He's like, oh, I won the first game, I'm okay now, like, this is going to be a walkover. But again, we've talked about this in other casts, it's never a walkover. You should always play StarCraft like you're playing Boxer, like you're playing the best players on Earth, because if you're not entirely focused on your build and getting all your timings perfectly, if stuff gets a little bit delayed, it snowballs very fast, and all of a sudden you're so far behind you have no idea why.
Yeah, and with the fact, and with JohnnyReb going to be getting his speedlings, his link
We're
speed
going to
up
see
very
a drop here. He's loading up this medevac, and he's going to be dropping 3 Hellions and 1 SCV, which I'm not sure what the SCV is doing there.
Well, you know what the SCV does is that if it does get picked off, if the medevac does get hurt, I'm not sure if they fixed this or not, but I think what it does, it actually does repair the medevac inside and also repairs...
No, it doesn't. What it does is it repairs units that are inside the medevac.
Oh, okay.
So that's I guess why he did that, but actually Blizzard is patching that next game or next patch.
Okay, yeah, because as you can see right here, right now, that the that 1 Hellion did get repaired, and it just talk about a mobile auto service, man. Seriously, like
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, you know, hey, you know, my car feels a little bit clunky today. You know, can you just send it into the medevac and I to bring it down later? Don't worry about it. That'd be awesome. But, you know, we have JohnnyReb feeling a little bit under the gun right here. The fact that he's putting down, you know, jeez, he's already got 5 spine crawlers.
Yeah, I don't agree with this. He has 2 spine crawlers here. He should definitely just unburrow them and move them a little closer to his mineral line. Especially not in the back here, because there's no reason to have them all the way in the back, because they're not going to be useful if an attack comes in the front at all. And if he has to unburrow them and move them, that's just going to be terrible, because they're going to get taken out so fast.
He's going to be roasting up these drones, but unfortunately, they're all going to be... burn up to a crisp. He keeps on lining them up like that for them.
Definitely should not be attacking into Hellions drones.
Oh my gosh.
Huge mistake. He lost 14 workers in that engagement. Ooh, that's really tough. I mean, he cleaned up these Hellions, but it's not worth it to attack with drones ever. Never, ever do that. Always split your drones and spread them as far apart away from the Hellions as possible, so they don't get that 6 splash damage. That's like the entire reason that people like throwing them in the mineral line, so they get those long splashes on all the drones.
But even though he lost all of those drones, he's still 2 harvesters ahead of ksTussin. So
right, he is doing a better job at his macro. Oh, he transfuses the spore crawler that's getting harassed by this banshee.
Oh, and the banshee does go down.
That was amazing play. Definitely like saved that spore crawler and helped him take out that banshee. He almost had a big problem with that banshee, but now he's entirely safe. That was very well done. That was a good reflex to have, is transfusing those spore crawlers for sure.
Yeah, you know, I think the Queen is like the medic of the Zerg team. Like, I think
well, it absolutely is. I mean, transfuse is so strong if you use it correctly.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but right now he's going to be getting his Baneling's nest up, and this can be a little bit devastating for Tussin right now. I mean, he does have some tanks on the high ground, but you know, if he did a Baneling drop, oh my gosh, can you imagine the devastation that he would be able to do?
Absolutely, there's almost no reason to not do a Baneling drop in these positions. You can sneak Overlords kind of all over the place here and just drop in all these mineral lines and do a lot of damage.
This seems a little peculiar. You know, Tussin is going to be getting his Raven out. You know, there doesn't seem to be, you know, something that needs to be worried about, especially in detection. But the Viking is going to be taking out this Overlord. And, you know, I guess JohnnyReb is going to be going for the gold as well. So a lot of different movements from these players, but it seems like ksTussin is opting just to go straight for this Raven build. I'm a little confused about this, but
well, this is bizarre because it's kind of like a delayed Raven. He might be worried about some kind of like Roach Burrow play, but then again, he was just in the base, and I don't think he saw a Roach Warren, or an Infestor Pit. So I don't know what he's really worried about going into this building Ravens now.
Oh, but we have an in-hatch in the main. Oh, man.
Yeah, macro hatch going down. And this is, I mean, interesting. It's a good way to spread creep. And obviously, like, the advantage of having a macro hatch is you get to build more units. So that's super important. But he definitely should have been spreading creep with this queen that has a lot of energy way sooner than this. So
yeah, and currently right now, JohnnyReb does have the speed for his Overlord. So, you know, if you get the speed for the Overlords, I would almost expect you to also get the, you know, the, what's it called, Ventricle Sacs.
Yeah, he absolutely should be evolving Ventral Sacs right now because he can lift so many Banelings and just carry them and do tons and tons of damage. But I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to do it. It doesn't seem like he's ramping up to do that quite yet. So
not yet. He seems to be doing the macro thing of the Zerg player expanding, getting more drones. You know, he's got a lot of Zerglings on the way.
We are seeing Tussin go 2-port Raven here with actually what I would call very little army. He has about 3 tanks and just a few Marines here and there. Let me just look at the counts here. Yeah, 15 Marines and 4 tanks. I don't know. It's pretty easy for a Zerg player to actually just crush this front if he builds enough units, if the macro is good enough.
But the wall seems pretty solid. Got a lot of supply depots in the front as well as those 2 bunkers for an attack. But if he did make some more banelings, that would definitely ruin ksTussin's day.
Absolutely. I mean, these supply depots are so vulnerable to banelings right now. But we're going to see ksTussin taking out these rocks. He's going to be expanding a 3rd time here. So hopefully JohnnyReb is planning on scouting this because, well, it seems like JohnnyReb hasn't been doing a lot of scouting of this front at all because he has no vision of any of this. But
his creep spread is beautiful, though. Honestly, like, I'm so glad we have a Zerg player that creep spreads like a mother. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, man.
I'm not gonna lie, he does have all his bases connected very well here. He has a big surface area to engage if the push comes here. Like if he's trying to do drops on this cliff, he actually is pretty safe against this if he has all this creep here. He just needs to spread it past these little bushes here a little bit. And he's gonna be in really good shape to defend against drops on this cliff and siege tanks sieging up at the bottom here.
Completely agree. But right now, ksTussin is gonna be, you know, getting up his 3rd expansion, but right now, you know, he's gonna be taking the, you know, 3rd expansion at the at the blue minerals, but unfortunately he did not decide to go to the gold, where that's where JohnnyReb is, and he's gonna be ramping up his econ right now. I love the fact that he's keeping his minerals low, and whereas ksTussin is just banking a lot of his minerals right now. I mean, I think he's just gotten into this position of being very confident, not having to worry about, you know, the previous game, because he was like, oh, you know, this is pretty much, I got this in the bag. But now he's getting this mass Raven.
He does seem a little too comfortable for my taste. Like, the reason he won last game is because he was always in the Zerg's face. He was forcing him to constantly be on the defense, to be paying attention, to be building units. And this time, he really hasn't poked around a lot. He hasn't done a whole lot. You know, he did a little bit of a Hellion drop. But we're going to see some Ravens just slowly float their way over here.
Yeah, and they're going to be putting down some of those auto turrets in the front, and this is a good harass play, especially against JohnnyReb, because the fact that they have so many energy, like, it's going to really be difficult. And oh, the fact that he could
but
be
these auto turrets are actually doing no damage at all.
Yeah, they did that. You're right. They didn't do. Oh, we have a Hunter Seeker missile on the circling set. Oh my gosh!
That was huge. That was so huge.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think I've ever seen a Hunter Seeker missile kill speedlings.
Well, this is where you see it, baby. That's right. At the Killshot tournament. That's right. That's where you see it.
Definitely, if JohnnyReb had a little bit faster reflexes there, he definitely could have gotten away a lot faster and been completely fine against that Hunter Seeker missile. But unfortunately, he lost a lot in that engagement.
Wow, yeah. And right now, JohnnyReb is really far behind in his unit count right now. I mean, he's got 88 food in comparison to ksTussin. He's got, you know, 143 food, but you can just see this massive baneling ball right here in the center of the map. He really should be like...
He should be a lot more active with this amount of units. I mean, he knows that Terran has basically been building exclusively Ravens for the last, like, 5 minutes. So he knows that, like, the tank count's low, the marine count is probably pretty low. It's probably a good idea to go find out what's happening at this front. He still hasn't even seen, like, the front of this base, which I think is kind of a critical mistake.
And you know what? He's got a lot of money, and he has a lot of larva at his main as well. I mean, if you double click on one of those larva patches, I mean, he's now got like almost 2 tiers of...
Absolutely, he should be macroing a lot harder and spending all this money and spending all this larva as fast as possible. He has at every base actually. He's been injecting pretty decently. I mean, his queens do have a lot of energy, but he's keeping up sort of on the injects, but he's not spending the money on the larva, and that's actually so important. You need to be doing that.
Yeah, I think he wanted to opt to get those corruptors, and if the... Oh, we have another...
The Hunter Seeker missile hits the corruptor, but it does almost no damage at all.
Oh man, yeah.
Very bad against corruptors. That's not a good idea.
They are very tanky units, but you know what? He's doing a lot of harass with these Ravens, throwing down all these auto turrets. Man.
Right, but these turrets aren't doing that much damage.